YouTubers? Part 2 of changing the valve covers on this '04 Nissan Xterra. So if you've seen the previous video, I explained about a couple steps what the customer was complaining about, a couple things on what oil leaks do, how to find an oil leak, so on and so forth. Check out the previous video. Let me see how I get into detail of that. So we've got the intake off, right? Intake manifold's off, so right now all I do is take off this rail, hit these two tins, pull this air duct, and pull this tube off. Taking off the intake was a little bit of a hassle. Your EGR valve might give you some issues when you pull up the intake, when you start to free up the intake after you take off your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 millimeter torque bolts. You'll get your intake pretty loose, but you still got two connectors back here in the back. You got a vacuum line here, vacuum line, and two cooling hoses back here on the back side of your intake. Two cooling hoses, vacuum line, two connectors that you can, it's kind of gotta like leverage your intake so much just to weasel your hands in there and pop this connector off. This is probably gonna be your orange connector right here. Probably gonna be your challenge, pulling that off. And show you on the intake what it looks like. Let's turn this around. Two cooling tubes right here. On the vacuum line here, you're gonna pull off. This connector wasn't so hard, wasn't so bad, but that orange connector that's right here, that's the one that you're gonna probably have your most difficulty at. So once you free up this connector, this vacuum line, two cooling hoses, and you get your EGR out the way, you'll essentially be good to go. Good to go to pull this off. Pull off your intake, vacuum line. Another connector here, throttle cables, another vacuum line, two connectors. This goes to your air duct. What I like to do, just to keep I don't have screws everywhere, whatever screw, 10 millimeters that I took off for my brackets, I put them right back on the intake so I just know where they're at. And it's just time consuming, just to put them somewhere and having to remember which one went where. So just to help you out a lot if you're first time around doing this. Another breather tube, so I'm ready to get back to it now. Pull off these. As you can see, that wetness, you probably couldn't see it before in the other video, but it's the issue. It's actually leaking pretty bad to where you're in the car for a while and it falls onto the exhaust manifolds and causes it to smoke, so that'll be pretty dangerous and annoying at times. So let's get to it. Let's finish pulling this thing off so I can go enjoy my New Year's. Another piece of advice, I didn't do it yet, I just wanted to show you guys this video, but as you're working on your valve covers or anything around your engine bay to do with having to take off your intake, grab some rags and cover your ports, your lower intake manifold ports, just because you don't want anything to fall in there, a bolt, a screw, a nut, a rock, whatever. You don't want anything to fall in there and you not notice it or not catch it or not, you won't be able to get it out unless you continue taking apart the motor. But put some rags to cover your holes, cover your ports, just so on the safe side if you don't catch it. And you put everything back together and you fire it up and you're like, what the hell is in there, bro? It sounds like some marbles fell in there. It's running rough. Yeah, just play it safe, Don't be a wise one, think you can get away with it. I highly recommend you covering up those lower intake manifold runners. And yeah, we'll do that side first, get it all done up, swap it out, clean it up. Then we'll do this side. You know, pop this off, knock out this side, swap out the gasket, clean it up, put everything back together on this side, put everything back together, double check your work, make sure everything's fine. One thing about me, I hate doing the same thing twice. Pet peeve of mine, although this is therapeutic for me. Just double check your work. And then last step would be to reverse process and put your intake manifold back on, plug up everything, double check everything's plugged up, and then we'll end up pressure washing her from the bottom, from top to bottom, pressure washing her, checking the oil, make sure the oil level is good before I fire her up. Always do that. Top off the oil and fire her up, leave her running for about half hour, 45 minutes. You'll know if your job is good, leaks oil or not. Leave it running for about that long. Wait till you get to operating temperatures, and take it for a test drive. Call the customer, tell her she's ready to pick her up. All right, guys.